Fight man in boxing, led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV.
I talked about this on live, but I want to do a video on it. It was gonna go up Tuesday, but I decided not to cut another video Tuesday. So let's talk about Jaron, Boots Ennis. Steven Espinoza took to Twitter earlier this month. Somebody sent it to me to explain why Jaron Ennis isn't the mandatory for Errol Spence and why he fighting the Karen cat. And I'll try to remember to put the screenshots on the screen once I get to work. But so he says that a lot of fans saying, well, you know, why Spence had a mandatory for a long time. Now, this will happen. Q-Double was the mandatory. He lost to Cody Crowley, okay? So he lost his mandatory status. Now, he even left Top Rank to go to PBC to make the fight happen. He ended up losing to Cody Crowley. Therefore, Errol Spence's mandatory kind of went away. Now, they kind of went over the rules. He was with some fans. Steven Espinoza, the fans say, well, if it ain't number 1 or 2 contender per IBF rules, blah, blah, blah. Then Steven Espinoza said, well, you're making my point. There's no number 1, there's no number 2 contender. So he has to fight, you know, the Karen cat to become to get the interim title to become the mandatory to Errol Spence. Now, Bonzi Ennis says that they was told, you know, Spence will have 120 days after the Keith Thurman fight or his next fight to defend the title. All right, to defend, you know, the IBF title versus mandatory, you know, if they beat the Karen cat. So he fighting Karen because it's producing the mandatory because it's not a number 2 contender. That's why they went that route. Now, originally, he was going to go the WBA route, okay? But, you know, Oscar De La Hoya dropped money bags down in the WBA, ordered the Virgil Ortiz fight, which I'll talk about the purse bid. Maybe I already talked about it by the time you see this video. I don't know what order I upload it in. That's always determined later when I get to my computer. So, I mean, people saying, well, he ain't, you know, Errol ain't got a mandatory. Therefore, you know, Moses was saying just because he number 1 don't make you a mandatory. So, at the end of the day, Cody Crowley also had an opportunity to fight Jaron Ennis that would have probably produced a mandatory. The rumor has it that he asked for $1 million to fight Jaron Ennis, therefore pricing himself out. There was no Cody Crowley versus Jaron Ennis fight. So, you know, at the end of the day, he fight Karen, whatever his name is, to give him a possible interim title and a mandatory defense versus Errol Spence. So, long story short, they went the IBF route, they went the WBA route. We can talk about them really not wanting blood. We talked about that on Tuesday, Monday night. So, I'm not sure if I'll go live Tuesday. More than likely I will. It's something to talk about, boxing related. But, so, I mean, there you have it. You know, a lot of people want to know, and my thing is, you know, he was going to WBA route for the regular belt. Pop say they don't care who, you know, if they fight for the belt or it's an interim belt, they just want a belt. And, you know, rightfully so, you know. They want to call themselves world champions because his brothers and his, you know, his dad's sons didn't get an opportunity to do so. And that's the goal. You know, a lot of this younger generation diminishing, you know, being world champions and the titles don't matter. Well, according to Boots and people out in Philly, it do matter to them. So I love to hear that. But, you know, Espinoza is breaking it down. You know, at the end of the day, you got to understand, too, he going around saying, well, Errol Spence and Tank want to make the biggest and the best fights and all that type of shit. And at the end of the day, that's not true. I don't care if Al Heyman stopped you. When you get somebody power of attorney when that much power over you, and it seemed like he got POA, power of attorney over them, they laughed at AJ when, you know, people were saying that Eddie Hearn had power of attorney. See, it ain't no fun when they switch the faces to when it's they people. It ain't no fun. But one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try my hardest to keep it consistent. And Jaron is signed to Showtime, so Espinoza, you know, due diligence in his alliance or his allegiance should lie with Jaron Ennis. You know, you didn't never sign Errol Spence. Errol Spence just left Fox and came on. He should be pushing Jaron Ennis to fight Errol Spence, but once again, he just Al Heyman puppet, and that's what he is, and that's why Showtime is about to get engulfed by Paramount Plus. They just said it ain't no need, and I talk about this later when I get to my computer. Ain't no need to leave Showtime as a standalone network at all. It don't have shit on there. For what? It makes zero sense. A lot of people don't have cable no more with all these apps and all these Fubo TVs and YouTube TVs and stuff. That's a lot cheaper without the equipment. It don't make no sense. The boxing, you know, with the boxing carry over, we gotta wait and see. I hope it don't. Hope they put whole ass Al Heyman on the street with all these scary ass fighters, except for the real ones. Hopefully they fall on their feet and they're able to bounce back. But Jaron is just the #1 contender. Don't take it personal. So, you know, if Errol Spence didn't have a mandatory with part of Cody Crowley not fighting Jaron, Ennis kind of held it up too. And you don't know what, you know, Ennis was saying. His daddy was saying it's going WBC route, WBA route. You know, after they beat Custio Clayton and all that, they don't know what's going on because the handlers don't know what's going on. The handlers don't know what's going on. What they doing to put Boots in the position of notoriety? What they doing to put the Boots in the position of the spotlight? All they did was slow his whole career down. That's all they did. I know last night people talking about, well, I seen, you know, Boots get rocked by a journeyman, whatever shit happened. Darnell Boone was dropped, Andre Ward really beat Kovalev, and they removed that footage from the internet and it never came back up. Man, some of them journeymans get dudes the toughest fights. Awkward guys. But it happened. Errol Spence got knocked out, got rocked by Larley. That's just the game. You know, when you don't know much about your opponent, that's dangerous. But then again, that was the amateurs for the most part. Well, no picking, you know, random drawings and all that type of stuff. But, you know, it happened. But we gonna see it. I think Delore may catch his attention while punching with him. But you can't sit back and let the man come get you. Don't get all, you know, enamored by all the glitz and glam and the flash of his game. You gotta press him, or you gotta be prepared to counter and punch with him. You know what I'm saying? When you sit back and you let him get on the front foot and dictate real estate, well, more likely he's gonna beat the hell out of you. But that's people's job to build him up as the next killer. And them type of dudes gonna always be around in boxing. They look good versus the level opponent that they fighting, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes they step it up, you know, when they get up to the championship levels. And I think he will. I think he a problem, but he ain't worth his weight in gold right now. He ain't worth his weight in cotton. To most of these dudes, he too much high risk and no reward. Not low reward, no reward. But, you know, that's Espinoza's job to be pumping him up. Not to say, oh, man, nah, man. Yeah, we want the Errol Spence fight, but you know what, man? We gonna put him in the best position to get that fight. They know Errol Spence about to drop the belt. They know it. But, you know, Espinoza going to Twitter and talking to the fans and engaging on whatever platform he on and whatever it is, it's hilarious to me. Because then again, a lot of them dudes will tell you that, you know, YouTube and the social media movement don't matter, and you trying to explain yourself on Twitter and other shit. I just let you know that, you know, a lot of the people on social media got an influence. We the voice. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you gotta explain to us, and at the end of the day, Showtime Boxing is on life support. It's on the ventilator. That's what it is. It's on the ventilator. That's what it is. It's on the ventilator. And there ain't there's no new ideas on how to get more subs, how to push the boxing. It's nothing new about it. All of it going to Paramount. Because who really got $13 to spend on Showtime when I get everything on Showtime on Fire Stick? Nobody. What they charge for cable is outrageous. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. But that's his job. To push Boots. But he explaining to y'all that he ain't the mandatory. Just because you're #1, I said that before, That don't make you the mandatory. You gotta remember too, Q double was the mandatory, so had Q double won, I wonder what they would have did there. You know? All these power players in boxing, they run the sanctioned belt bodies. They fund the sanctioned belt bodies. Even Kinahan was in bed with them. But the fighters and trainers get in trouble for working with Kinahan, but not the shady ass sanctioned belt bodies. It's crazy. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chances of notifications. We go live and drop a video. Financially want to support the channel. Cash App, $CJGood313, Venmo, CJGood313, PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Link to the first link in the description. Peace.